My name is Paul Babba, born and raised in Jos, Nigeria. New head women's soccer coach at Delta State University.
Give me freedom, give me fire, give me reason, take me up.
State call. I don't know if it was the AD that called, but when it came in, that they wanted you, how did it feel?
I was excited. I was very excited. Jeremy called me, and I was actually out on the field, so I actually had to call him back. And when I did, it was a good conversation. He just told me about his vision for the program, and we shared a similar vision. We want to take the women's soccer program to the next level. And it was very, very, very good conversation, and I'm excited about where we're going.
Talk about that vision. Can you explain some more?
Absolutely. My vision is, as I said, to go to the next level. Everything that we do is going to be geared towards that. From the standpoint of everything needs to be professional, on the field and off the field. Our players are going to be treated appropriately, and they're going to understand what we expect from them. At the same time, we understand that they expect certain things from us as well. So as I recruit, I'll look for players that understand where we're trying to go and what we're about.
You talk about recruiting. You come from just recently you're working with Mississippi and their development team for the Olympics, and that whole just getting all these kids a chance to see and play against each other. Talk about that. What it means is now you have probably the greatest recruiting advantage for the state of Mississippi.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, I worked with the Olympic Development Program here in Mississippi for the last 2 years. It's a good program. I'm able to see a lot of good players. It's one big week of camp where we get prepared for that through the whole year. We go, and it gives me the opportunity to watch all the best players in the state. Not only watch them, but also they know who I am. And eventually, when it comes to recruiting them, when I call them, they know that I've been a part of that program. I was also part of the Mississippi Fire Junior Soccer Club, the organization here in Mississippi, and it's the biggest club in the area, actually the biggest club in the surrounding areas as well, Louisiana, Alabama, all of those. So another good opportunity to recruit there as well.
You've been here for a little while now. Were you able to dip into that background and be able to recruit a little bit for this season?
Absolutely, absolutely. I haven't brought any in this year, but I have talked to Kenny White. He's the director of coaching over at Mississippi Fire. He's big time. He's a friend of mine, and I talked to him the other day about 5 or 6 girls that played for him this year, all state championship players. And so we're talking about, as I said, 5 or 6 that are looking at Delta State. I think that with the new vision, Delta State is now a viable option for them. So they feel like they want to start coming this way.
Come this way. Very prestigious 4-year institution. Got a lot of championships on a lot of different levels. What is your goal this year, or even 2-3 years down the road? Where do you want to see this program turn?
That's a good question. Obviously, Delta State has a very, very rich history, and it's in all the sports that they've been a part of. Coach Allen, who was here in the past, laid a very good foundation, and we're hoping to build on that. This year is going to be a bit of a rebuilding year, just because of the changes and everything. We hope to essentially not go backwards this year. Continue to build on what he built. Next 2-3 years, our goal is as we are able to recruit players and kind of implement maybe a bit of a different vision. We're hoping to at the end of the day, one big thing is, as I said earlier, be more professional. Definitely, of course, win as much as possible. But at the end of the day, I don't think winning should be our primary focus, but improvement. As we get better in the next 2-3 years, and then after that, we can start talking about winning.
You look at a lot of these girls you had mentioned, Coach Allen, he ran both programs. Coming in now the girls will have a coach that's totally devoted to them.
Absolutely.
How do you plan to work with that? Because it's something where they've always had to share time, and now their focus is you're their entire focus.
Absolutely, and as we said, Jim did a fantastic job. He had 2 teams to work with. I only have 1, thank God. He had a lot of work that he had to do, and luckily now I'm able to focus solely on the girls, and I think they deserve that. And as I said, Delta State and Jeremy McClain are making it clear that women's soccer and soccer in general is something that we want to really push, and we're going to take it seriously. Again, it has a good foundation, and we're just hoping to build on that.
You come in now, you have some coaching experience a lot. Can you just build off of that and just talk about what that's going to bring and having that experience and transitioning it to this level?
Absolutely. As you said, I coached 4 years at Mississippi College, the college ranks, and I feel confident that with my playing experience, playing college level and a bit of semi-pro after that, I feel like I can pour into these kids and help to guide them on the field, off the field, but definitely to not only be a coach and a motivator, but also a teacher. That's really my style. Is to try and teach the kids whatever they need to learn, whatever the next step is for each individual. And that's my goal. I like to see myself as a teacher.
You go back, is this teaching thing something that you pulled off from a coach you had in your playing days?
Absolutely. I've had many good coaches. And you have the yellers, you have the guys that just have conversations, and I feel like I try to mix that up a bit. A lot of my coaches, I've had the yellers who are just always yelling at you, trying to get their point across, and there's those that will have a conversation with you. And I've taken a bit from all my coaches in my past. I learned a lot of good things at Mississippi College last 4 years, and trying to figure out exactly how each individual needs to be coached is important. I think that especially in the women's game, each girl needs to understand that I'm going to try and treat her as an individual and coach her the way she needs to be coached. I have a specific coaching style that I gravitate towards, but it's important for me that they understand that I know who they are, and I want to make sure that I teach them and coach them the way they need to be coached.
It's something with these girls in here, how do you recruit to them that you're different? I mean, with your experience a little bit, do you recruit them to make them want to come here?
Jim laid a very good foundation here. I think that something that I might bring in is just I know a lot of the coaches in the area. I'm able to, that lends itself. Having also played and coached at the college level, before coming here, I was able to make a lot of good connections in the coaching ranks, all the different states, and having played at a decent level, I think that that's something that as I come in and try to teach different things, the girls will appreciate that.
Can you talk about your playing career? I mean, you can start all the way back to when you were a kid and how the growing up from it, or you want to talk about this college level, but just how that development and how you got into soccer.
Yeah. Well, I have the typical story that you hear about from Nigerian kids. Grew up playing on the streets. Didn't really have balls to begin with. Just we had rags that we put together or whatever, and just playing on the streets. Luckily, I always had shoes. My friends never did, so I was always bullying them off the ball. But yeah, I started playing off in the streets, and it was always just fun for us, and that's how we start. As I got older, I played a bit of high school. I was blessed to go to a good school, played high school ball, and then I was recruited at Belhaven College, scholarship there. Played there for 4 years, had what I feel is a decent career, and coached 4 years at Mississippi College, and this is my first opportunity to be a head coach and to kind of put my own stamp on a program, and that's how it goes.
Can you talk? You said mentioning coming over to Belhaven. Can you just talk about that experience of moving away from your homeland, you're coming into a new area, and just how that handles, because your family back home, you might not get to see a lot. I know you have a family now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, as an international student, there's so many of us, even here at Delta State, fantastic international community, and we leave home, come to America in hopes of being able to play the sport we love and also get an education. Really, the only country where you get scholarship to do that. And I came over 8 years ago. I've been back once. Luckily, my parents have been over a couple of times, and where we grew up, it's not that big a deal to be far away from your parents. So we mature very quickly, and we mature very quickly as adults, as individuals, but also means that we mature in the professional standpoint and also on the field. So, I've been blessed with good parents, and they come over whenever they can. Now I've got a wife and 2 boys, American wife, so means that I'll be here for a while, I guess.
You talked about that maturation and that process of growing up, and you were kind of thrown into it. some of your players are going to be coming from the international scene, and some of them might be coming from a little bit farther than Mississippi. When they come to Cleveland, can you just talk about making them part of that family that is here? It's a small town, small community that kind of wraps around the university.
Absolutely, and I think that's one of the blessings about coming here to Delta State and coming to Cleveland. International students, when they come in, they really need to have that support group. They need to know that, you know, when they go and talk to somebody in administration, like they've dealt with internationals before, or they need to feel like they're part of the family, and that's what Delta State feels like, and that's what, you know, Cleveland feels like. Blessing for me is that I am an international student, and I dealt with all the paperwork and all the loops and all the little things that international students have to deal with, have to jump through a lot of hoops, and I'm able to help them that, and I understand the process because I went through it. I'm also able to understand, you know, what they deal with. Besides just the paperwork and all that, but being away from family and all that kind of stuff, and we hope to bring in as many internationals as we need, and also give them a good experience.
When you talked about just the community and coming in, the community is really behind the universities here. What do you say to them to get them to come out to Delta Field? Soccer is something that obviously the university is trying to push now.
Absolutely.
2 different levels, but how do you get them to come out?
Well, I think that soccer is doing that for itself, really. Soccer is the fastest growing sport in the country. Many people don't know that. And the kids it's a good sport for the kids. It's healthy. And it's also something that as they come out, as we are able to get out into the community and they're able to get to know us, able to get to know our players, they'll see, you know, the benefits of supporting soccer here at Delta State. And as we try to take the sport to the next level, I think that will also lend itself to getting people more involved, and we're hoping to give back to the community as much as we can.
Real quick, we're going to wrap things up here, but if there's just one phrase or one quick sentence that you could just to sell Delta State, to get people to want to enjoy soccer here, come see it, how would you sell it?
Well, that's a tough question. As I said before, we're taking soccer to the next level. We're not going to go backwards at all. Every day we're going to strive towards continuous improvement, and that's my motto, continuous improvement every day. And as we make the program better, I think that that will lend itself to more winning, and obviously the community getting behind us.
Take the field down, unify us, make us feel proud. In the streets our heads are lifting as we lose our inhibition. Celebration, it surrounds us.